Hello. So really quick, I wanted to show kind of where my inspiration comes from for this project and what I was looking at. So originally, really, what I cared about the most was I wanted to create these objects that would have this same dithering effect that you see on these hands right here. So this game is called Hylix 2. Huge inspiration. I love this game. The guy who made this actually animated all this himself. So, and also the music is really good. But look at that, that looks so cool. And so you'll see like the way that the shading is done is like, it's by little dots. That's a dithering effect. And so to learn more about it, I ended up researching this game called Return of the Obra Dinn. It's made by the same guy who made Papers, Please, even though I haven't played either of them. But it looks really interesting, right? Like the way that shading is done and the way that color is done is by this dot and dithering effect. So I thought that was super interesting. I hope that music wasn't too loud. And the good part about this is that Lucas Pope, the guy who made that game, he has a whole development log right here for you to find. So it's super duper interesting. He explains a lot of things. You have to click through it though. So yeah, and so my goal was to create something similar, and so here's what I ended up having. Now, originally it was all black and white, the same way the other guys was, but I wanted it to look more like the other game, so I ended up adding this feature. Originally this right here, so this is actually a material being applied to the camera. Originally I had this, and this actually is not a surface shader on there, because it's a 2D texture, so it just doesn't need to be. This isn't actually being applied to the objects, this is being applied to the camera, and I have a little script here. If I go to my camera, I have a little rendering image script, and that's where it's taking in the screen space pixels as the main text. And basically, originally this was all just black or white, black or white, black or white, giving off like a grayscale. Either it was a 1 or a 0, and the way you would kind of shade it is if it was blacker here or if it was whiter here. But I ended up changing that, and I found that this looks really cool with these colors. So now you can actually see colors in the scene. Like this is red, and so the reason I had to introduce colors is because I wanted to create, my end result that I wanted to create was like in this dither space, I wanted to create a status effect. So like if a character like maybe gets a power up or like, I don't know, I just thought a status effect would be cool. The idea came from looking at the examples that Unity has for surface shaders, and they had a slices surface shader, so it would like cut out like, if you see my face, it would cut out my face like here, 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 here. And I did something similar, except instead of taking a slice, I would replace it with whatever my status effect was supposed to be. And for all the places where the status effect is running, I would pretty much have my smoothness set all the way and the metallics set all the opposite way. So for where it's not. So you can see in this section of the code, this is the actual surface shader that's going on the objects. So here's where I'm creating my slices, and it's getting that like that like sine, that movement comes from the sine times the times times the time dot z. I think that's like the milliseconds or seconds. I think that's seconds. And you can actually change all of these, so it can look very different depending on how you do it. Let me go to the scene viewer. Here's without any dithering. I go to the scene viewer. You can see that with smaller slices, you can kind of get a very different effect versus bigger slices, which just looks kind of goofy. But so if I have a small slice here, and I can change the angle, so this is kind of like, or more like an original just taking vertical slices, but you'll see it looks very interesting when I start to bring it a little closer out here, and I increase my width. Now that's kind of trippy. I really like that look of it coming towards the like bleeding like that, yeah. And you can change like this, so it's just interesting, all in all. And yeah, it uses that color ramp and the original texture, so you can see where it's not getting that status effect. So if I put it on full status effect, so if this width is all the way here. You can see that with the scene it's completely diffuse, not specular at all. But then when it's not part of that status effect, or when that slice width is still high, the speed is low, and the angle is high, you get the, you can see where it's cutting in or not, or I could just turn off the status effect in total. But yeah, yeah, that's the whole thing, and with the dithering, all in all, pretty cool. I think I'm pretty proud of what came out, especially this dithering effect. I spent a long time working on this, and I'm surprised it looks this good. And really quick, just to explain this, what's going on. Oh, I think I already did with the noise map and everything. So, yeah.